A werewolf story for English learners, A2 to B1 level. The Wolf in the Forest. Part 1. The Small Mountain Village. David was 24 years old. He loved photography and traveling. One autumn, he visited a small mountain village to take pictures of the beautiful forests. The village was quiet and peaceful. Tall trees surrounded the area. A cold wind blew through the streets. David rented a room at a small guest house owned by an elderly man named Mr. Carter. On his first evening, he sat near the fireplace. A young woman named Lucy was also staying there. "Are you here for vacation?" "Yes, I want to photograph the forest." Lucy looked uncomfortable. "Be careful if you go into the woods." "Why?" "People say strange things live there." David smiled. "Like ghosts."
Part 2. The Howl. The next day, David spent hours taking photographs. The forest was beautiful. Golden leaves covered the ground. Birds sang in the trees. As evening arrived, he realized he had walked farther than expected. The sun was setting. The sky turned orange and purple. David decided to return. Then he heard a sound. "Ho!" A long, deep howl echoed through the forest. David stopped walking. The sound seemed far away, but it made him feel uneasy. A few seconds later, another howl answered. Then another. And another. The forest suddenly felt much darker. David hurried back to the village.
Part 3. The Story of the Beast. That night, David asked Mr. Carter about the howling. The old man became serious. "What animal makes that sound?" "Most people believe it's a wolf." "And you?" The old man hesitated. "I believe it is something else." Lucy listened quietly. "What do you mean?" Mr. Carter lowered his voice. "For generations, people have spoken about a creature, a beast that walks as a man during the day and as a wolf during the night." David smiled. "A werewolf? That is what they call it. You don't really believe that." The old man looked toward the window. Outside, darkness covered the village. "I wish I didn't." Part 4. The Footprints. The next morning, David went back into the forest. He wanted to photograph wildlife. After walking for nearly an hour, he noticed something strange. Large footprints in the mud. They looked like wolf tracks, but they were much bigger than normal. David followed them. The tracks continued deeper into the woods. Then, suddenly, they changed. The animal footprints became human footprints. David stared at them. How is that possible? A cold wind moved through the trees. For a moment, he felt like someone was watching him. He quickly took several photographs and left. Part 5. The Missing Hunter. That evening, The village was unusually busy. People gathered near the town square. David approached a group of villagers. "What's happening?" A woman looked frightened. "A hunter is missing. He went into the forest yesterday. He never came back." David remembered the footprints. A bad feeling grew inside him. Later that night, he showed the photos to Lucy. Her face became pale. "You should leave tomorrow." "Because of these tracks?" "Because the next full moon is tonight." David laughed nervously. "You really believe the werewolf story?" Lucy didn't answer. Part 6. The Full Moon. That night, the moon was bright and full. David couldn't sleep. Around midnight, he heard shouting outside. People were running through the village. Then came a terrible sound. "Ow!" Closer than ever before. David looked out the window. Several villagers were locking their doors. Others were turning off their lights. The entire village seemed terrified. Suddenly, something moved near the edge of the forest. A large shadow, far too large to be a normal wolf. David grabbed his camera. He zoomed in. The creature stepped into the moonlight. David nearly dropped the camera. It stood on 2 legs. Its body was covered with dark fur. Its eyes glowed yellow. Its teeth were long and sharp. The werewolf was real. Part 7. The Chase. The creature suddenly turned its head. It looked directly at David's window. For a moment, neither moved. Then the werewolf growled, a deep, frightening sound. David stepped backward. The beast began running toward the guest house. Oh no! He rushed downstairs. Mr. Carter and Lucy were already there. "It saw you, didn't it?" Before David could answer, a loud crash shook the building. Boom! The front door rattled. The werewolf was outside, trying to get in. Another crash followed. The windows trembled. Everyone remained silent, listening, waiting. Part 8. The Secret. Suddenly, Mr. Carter spoke. "There is something you should know. Now. Years ago, a traveler was attacked in these woods. He survived, but he changed. Every full moon, he became the beast." "Who was he?" The old man's face filled with sadness. "My son." The room became silent. "Your son?" Mr. Carter nodded. "I tried to help him, but each year he became more dangerous. Now he lives deep in the forest, avoiding people. But during the full moon, he loses control." Outside, the growling continued. Part 9. Face to Face. The guest house suddenly lost power. Everything went dark. A window shattered. Crash! The werewolf had entered. Lucy screamed. David grabbed a flashlight. The beam revealed the creature standing inside the room. Its yellow eyes reflected the light. The werewolf slowly approached. Mr. Carter stepped forward. Michael. The beast stopped. For a moment, confusion appeared in its eyes. "It's me, your father." The creature growled softly. Its breathing slowed. "You don't want to hurt anyone. You never did." The werewolf looked at him, then lowered its head. For a few seconds, the monster...
Part 10. The Last Photograph. The next morning, the village was calm. The full moon had passed. David packed his bags. Before leaving, he checked the photos on his camera. Most of them were normal. Trees, mountains, the village. Then he found one photo, taken during the night. The werewolf stood near the forest, but something else appeared beside it. A human figure. A young man, standing next to the beast, smiling sadly at the camera. David showed the photo to Mr. Carter. The old man's eyes filled with tears. "That's my son." David looked again. The young man looked completely normal. No fur, no claws, no glowing eyes. Just a man trapped by a terrible curse. When David looked up, Mr. Carter was staring toward the forest. The old man smiled softly, for the first time in many years. David never returned to that village, but he never forgot what he saw. Sometimes, on quiet nights, he still hears wolves howling in the distance, and he wonders, was the creature truly a monster? Or was it simply a man fighting a battle no one else could see? Far away, deep within the forest, a lone howl echoes beneath the moon. Howoo! And somewhere among the trees, two yellow eyes slowly open.